Greeting of the day. I, Dr. Kirti Sahu, welcome you all to this second part of the method of separation of variable. Here we will discuss few more important examples of initial value problem, boundary value problem, and initial boundary value problem. I have already introduced this topic in my previous video lecture. You can go through it to have the clear idea how this method works. So let us start with the first example. Using the method of separation of variables. So here differential equation with the conditions are given. So let us see how it operates. So first of all, we will obtain general solution. So for this we need equation 1 and its derivative. Here as u is a dependent variables and x and t are independent variables. So we need a solution of the form u of xt equal to x of x into t of t, where we have to find out expression for capital X and capital T. Let us call it as equation 2, and according to the requirement of equation 1 we will find out the derivatives. So differentiating 2 with respect to x twice, we get del 2x by del x square as equal to x double dash into t and del u by del t as x t dash. Use this in equation using this 3 and 4 as per the requirement in equation number 1. So we get x double dash t equal to x t dash. Separate the variables. As the order of derivative is 2, so separation constant is minus of p square. Consider first ratio with the constants. So we have x double dash by x is equal to minus p square. Simplify this to obtain ordinary differential equations. So we can write it in this form. Here right hand side is 0, so solution of this is nothing but capital X is equal to complementary function only. The roots of the auxiliary equations are plus minus ip. So in this way we get the solution of this ordinary differential equation obtained by equating first constant with the fraction with the constant. In the same way we will consider second fraction with the constant to get the solution or the expression for capital T. So capital T dash by t is minus p square, which I can write as 1 by t. Capital T dash means derivative of capital T with respect to small t. Now separate the variables, integrating. So integration of this is log t is equal to minus p square t plus c3. We want expression for capital T, so we will take anti-log. Taking anti-log, so we have e power minus p square t plus c3. Now apply law of indices, the terms get separated, that is e power c3 into e power minus p square t. E power c3 is d. So we have second expression for a function, that is capital T. Now once we get expression for capital X and T, we will use this in equation 2, which is nothing but a general solution. So equation 2 implies u of xt is a cos px plus b sin px. Simplifying, here I can write ad as another constant a1 and bd as a2. So in this way we get a general solution. Now let us see how to obtain a constant by making use of given conditions. So let us apply first condition, u of 0 t equal to 0. What does this mean? It means u is 0 when x is equal to 0, because u is a function of x and t. Now so applying this condition to equation number 9, what we have, x is 0, so u is nothing but 0, so left hand side is nothing but 0. Cos 0 is 1, so a1, sin 0 is 0, so this is 0. So we have a1 into e raised to power minus p square t. Now obviously out of the product one of the term must be 0 in order to make it 0. So e raised to power minus of p square cannot be 0, because if it is 0 then entire solution is 0 and we are not interested in a 0 solution. So the only possibility is a1 as 0. So a1 is equal to 0. Put a1 equal to 0 in equation 9. We will have a reduced form of the desired solution. So that is given by equation number 10. So putting a1 0, we have this type of expression. This is now the solution. Now applying second boundary condition to this equation number 10, that is put x as L, at that time u is nothing but 0. So equation 10 gives you 0, u is 0. a2 sin px is L this. Now what we are having? We are having product of three functions 0, so any one of them must be 0 as per the rule. So the possibility is only sin PL is 0 because e raised to power minus p square t, and a2 cannot be 0 because any one of them is 0 will make this a solution 0, and we want a non-zero solution. So therefore sin px is 0, sin px is 0 means sin PL is 0, so sin function is 0 at generalized angle n pi. So sin PL is equated to sin n pi, where n takes the value 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, and so on. Infinite number of values are there for this angle. Now from this we will obtain p, that is n pi by L. Therefore putting this value of p over here, we get a solution as u of x2 is equal to a2. Now remember here we have number of solutions depend upon the values of n. So this can be written in a compact way for which is true for all n like this. So this is a general solution. See here the condition u is equal to 0 when t tends to infinity also gets satisfied over here. When t is infinity we have e raised to power minus infinity which is 0, and then in that case u is 0. So like this we have a general solution which will satisfy a particular solution which satisfies all the required conditions. I hope the method is very clear, very simple to apply. Just one by one apply the conditions and get the values of constants. Now let us move to the another example, very important example, because here the condition given is somewhat different than the other one. So again we will identify dependent variable. According to that we will assume the solution as a function of two independent variables. So here we have u as x into y. Now here we need del u by del x, del u by del y as well as u. So let us differentiate 2 with respect to x and y. We get del u by del x as x dash y, and del u by del y is x y dash. So using equation number 2 as we need u, 3 and equation number 4 in equation 1. So using 2, 3 and 4 in equation 1, what we get here, there is a correction, I have to mention 2 also. So 4x dash y plus xy dash equal to 3xy. Separate the variables. There are various ways to separate the variables. Either I can shift this on the right hand side, or I can take this term on the left hand side. So here the arrangement is done like this. From this we will separate the variables capital X and capital Y, as the order of derivative involved over here in this expression is 1, that's why constant is k. Now consider each fraction equated with the constants one by one. Now x dash is nothing but derivative of capital X with respect to x. So here we will obtain variable separable form, which on integration gives us log x is equal to k by 4 times x plus a. Now here applying law of indices as we did earlier in the previous problems, the simplification on the same line, we will simplify it. So we get x is equal to a e raised to power k by 4 times x with a as e power a. So in this way we get the first functions required in the solution. Let us obtain second function, that is obtained by equating constant with the second fraction. So let us consider that. Now here we will separate the variables. So separate numerator first. We get such type of expressions. Now separating the variables, we have y dash by y equal to 3 minus k. Now y dash is nothing but 1 by y. Y dash is derivative of y with respect to y. So 1 by y derivative of y with respect to y equal to 3 minus k. Separate variable capital Y on one side, small variable on another side. Now this is variable separable form, so integrate, we get integrations, and hence the solution given by equation 7. So I hope the method is clear to you all. Once we get the expression for capital X and Y, let us put this in equation number 2. So we have u of x y as in this way, where a into b is a constant which I have denoted by d, and applying law of indices to the remaining terms. So this is a general solution, but according to the conditions given, as we want to apply the find out the constants, we will rewrite that general solution in this way. Why? Because here we have two terms in a general solution, so we need two terms in this general solution of u of xy. So I will just assign suffix 1 for a first term and suffix 2 for a second term in a equation number 8 according to the principle of superposition. So this is what we have obtained by principle of superpositions. Now we will apply the condition. The condition says that when x is 0, then u is 3 e raised to power minus y minus e raised to power minus of 5y. So apply this, what we get such type of expressions. Equate corresponding terms. So we have first term equated with the first term. So we get d1 e raised to power 3 minus k1y equal to 3 e raised to power minus y, where d1 will come out to be 3 and 3 minus k1 will be minus 1. Similarly, equating second constant term with the second term, so we get d2 e raised to power 3 minus k2y equal to minus e raised to power minus 5y. The equating coefficients, so we have d2 is equal to minus 1, 3 minus k2 is equal to minus 5. From this we will obtain k2 and k1. So we get such type of expression. Put this in this solution. This, remember, this is the general solution, latest general solution. Put the values accordingly and get the required particular solution. So I hope the method is lengthy, but it is not difficult to understand. So apply. The steps are clear and they are sequentially arranged. So try to obtain solutions by making use of method of separation of variables. So thank you for watching the video.